Oh, hey guys, I'm going to be doing some mid-torque face-off here, just a minor one for tonight to start up the series. So right now I'm removing some fasteners. So you guys just wait a minute. Then I'm going to use the saw, the new saw. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's throw some light on the subject. Gonna have to. Yeah, I know, blinded by the light, but I gotta be able to see here. Actually, I can ditch it now. Okay. Now, let's do some mid-torque in here. Okay. We're going to be running. We're going to start this series off. This is going to take about a week to do all this. We're going to start it with, I think, to be the weakest impact mid-torques. This is the Cobalt mid-torque. It came out at the end of 22. 8 amp hour ultimate output, 21 severard cells. I think Shop Tools Reviews had this at 600. Okay. Against a year or two old, Bosch GDS 18V 330C, which are 8 amp, 21 severard cell too. Okay. Against the oddball one, this is the Skill mid-torque. Even though it looks like a high torque, it's actually a mid-torque, even though it's big enough to be a high torque. And there's the least powerful battery. It's the Power Core 20. This only has 18650 cells in it. So this is going to be just a short test here to remove these. Then we're going to move on to my Harbor Freight rear handle circ saw, and we might do a couple other things. So okay, let's go with the Bosch. Okay, now let's go with the Cobalt. Like I say, you can get this at Lowe's. I think Shop Tool Reviews just did a video a couple weeks ago. You can get this with a set of sockets, I think for 150 bucks. I paid way more than that for this. Okay. These legs were set in a while back. Probably a couple months ago at least. Okay. Now, let's go with the Skill. You can get this either at Lowe's or Menards. I got mine at Menards. Okay. Okay. Now, love the halo light on this. Halo light. It's only mid-torque with this. Call. Okay, back to the Bosch. Call. Akitas are nuts. Okay, let's go on to the Skill. Love the halo light on this. Okay, let's move on to the cobalt. Okay, now let's move this over. Okay. 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 Let's move on to the cobalt again. Like I say, Shop Tool Reviews did a review on this. I think it was a month ago. A kit with socks, I think for 150 or 170. It was cheap from Lowe's. Okay. Let's go with one more for that. Okay. Now let's go on to the Bosch. The Bosch is the newest one here. Wow. That was the tightest one. Okay. Now let's go on to the skill. So, the same company that makes skill also makes flex. I love the halo light on this, but this is the size of a high torque. And it needs a better battery than this 18650 cell. They're antiquated. I'm thinking about buying an adapter to be able to run Milwaukee Forge batteries, and this thing will pick up a lot of power. Okay. Now, maybe I'll run some more stuff in. Let me see about what I want to run. Okay. See if I can even do this. I don't know. Suppose I can just do these three. This will crack. Okay. Pull off these sockets. You can tell that one definitely was tight for the Bosch. Calm down, Cole. Gosh. Okay. Now, see what people are saying. Question about fuel pressure. Fuel pressure. Yeah. Yeah, well, usually like the Subaru in the garage. You know what a lot of guys do? They play with their injectors. Problem is you have to have a heck of an engine to play with fuel pressure. Yeah, it's a great idea to buy an $1,100 Harbor Freight and put a snap-on. Yeah, believe me. Snap-on, they may have been something maybe 30, 40 years ago, maybe even 25, but now, like Who's making fun out of Snap-on lately? Tools with Souls, their $1,000 drill. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, well, yeah, Steel makes great chainsaws, believe me. If I could afford their chainsaws, I'd buy a battery operated one, but I got a Milwaukee. You know, I mean, their chainsaws are like really expensive. I'm pretty sure if skill, I'm pretty sure if a Steel chainsaw, if they made a dual battery chainsaw, like Milwaukee makes their dual battery, yeah, Milwaukee's chainsaw, their dual battery 20-inch, cost $9. The Steel would probably cost $1,400, I'm guessing. You know, you get what you pay for, but I'm happy to have my Milwaukee. Okay, now let's run this skill. Unless you're talking about a skill. Maybe you are talking about a skill. There's nothing wrong with the Skill chainsaw. Same company that makes the Skill chainsaw also makes Ego. The only difference is the Ego is 56 volts. I can't wait till Eagle comes out with tabless cells in their batteries. Of course, by then, the 12 amp hour will probably cost what? It costs $600 now. I have one for my lawnmower. By then, it'll cost $800. Okay. Let me put a glove on here. Let's just jump up. Let's do the Bosch. That's as far as she wants to go. What do you expect? This is a lightweight mid-torque. This ain't no Milwaukee. And I can smell the grease. Okay. Now, let's go on to the Cobalt. Wow. Okay. Let's just put her in here. Let's remove this one first. Okay, let's try to put it in here. Wow. Wow, this Cobalt truly is a powerhouse. It should be. It's got an 8 amp hour, 21 7-hour cell battery on it. If they actually make a tabless battery, they'll have it. Okay. Now, let's try the power core. Far enough. Well, we all know the Bosch couldn't cut the mustard. What do you expect? This is a lightweight mid-torque, but it's very light. Not for stuff like driving legs. You know, I'm sure it'll take your car lug nut off. Okay. What's this battery at? Hasn't dropped a cell on the skill yet, even though it's the weakest battery out of the bunch. Let's remove the opposite. Wow. Okay, let's go back to the cobalt. The skill has a much better light. Wow, it's stuck in there. Okay, let's do another round, I guess. Wow. Wow, starting to round it off. That's far enough, gosh. See what the battery's at. Still fully charged. It's 8 amp hour. What do you expect? Okay, let's go back to the skill. Okay, let's remove it. Wow. See what the battery's at. Drop 2 cells finally. Let's make sure. Wow. No, it only dropped 1, but this is the weakest battery. It's not even 21,700 cells. It'd be different if it was 21,700 cells. That's why I want to get the Milwaukee adapter. Can you imagine? Yeah. What do I have here for a socket? Oh. Okay, yeah. Let me just use this. What's the use of running a longer one, even though we might try it with the Bosch to see if it'll help. Wow. Wow. Still hasn't dropped the battery cell on this 8 amp. Just imagine if this was tabless. I do believe this is advanced to the next session for my mid-torque challenge because the power it has. Okay, now let's see if I can do this here. Okay, we're going to try to help the Bosch out. I don't know if it'll even help. I doubt it. It's the weakest link. Okay. Okay. Let's give it one more try with this one then. I think it'd be easier to run in this one. That one's going to crack. Yeah. Wow. Well, the Bosch is a lot faster with a heavier socket, of course. But I don't think it's going to advance. I'm going to watch my video again tomorrow and test who's the quickest out of all the times. And whatever tool is the quickest is moving on to the stage 2. Okay. Let's see what the battery's at. Only dropped one cell. This is probably the best battery here. Bosch don't make no wimpy batteries, even though I want to lay my hands on the new tablet cell. But the only way I can locate it is I'm trying to get a hold of a power tool dealer in England and see if they can ship one here. I figure it'll cost me about $240, but it'll be worth the money because they're not selling the batteries here yet. Tools Tester got his shipped from England too. Let's remove these two. These are 6-inch legs. That ain't nothing. Wait till you see what I'm going to run when we step up the stronger mid-torques. These are 8-inch by 5/8. These will be really hard to drive. This will probably be the last stage of my mid-torque challenge. These are enormous. I don't know if they make them much bigger than this. Maybe a foot? I don't know. I think that's high torque territory. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to eliminate the Bosch from the mid-torque challenge because I think it had to have help with the longer socket. The Bosch makes the best battery out of the bunch. Way better than Skill and way better than Cobalt. But Skill and Cobalt are both at lows. You know, Skill is the middle brother to the big brother Flex, and then wait. Cobalt. First it's Flex, then it's Cobalt, then it's Skill. So Flex is the number one at lows, it's the big brother. Cobalt is the one that gets a little lesser stuff, and Skill gets even a crappier battery, you know. They need to offer a 21.7 megahertz cell, and what they really need to do is they need to put a tabless battery on the Cobalt tool line. And then put just regular 21.7 megahertz cells on the Skill line, not those little 5 amp hour crappers. That's why I want to get two adapters for my rear handle 40-volt 2 battery power core saw, you know, rear handle circ saw. Run 2 forged batteries on from Milwaukee. That thing will probably kick some major saws rear ends. So, okay. Now we did that. And my ears are ringing a little bit. So, okay, let's move everything out of the way. I need some light here first, so it's going to be blinded by the light. Okay, let's move everything off here. So I'm going to do some sawing here. Okay, let me put this back. Like I say, these are monster legs. They don't get them much bigger than this. 5/8 by 8 inches. That'll probably be in, well, maybe in the last stage of all the top mid torques. I'm not going to run the next stage with it. Too bad they don't make a 10-inch one. That would be the ultimate. Okay. Okay. Now, let's get the latest rear handle saw from Harbor Freight, the new Hercules rear handle. Now, I only have the 8 amp hour battery. I'm not lucky enough to have the 12 yet. Okay, let's kill this light. Let's turn on my light and back a little more. Okay. Let's focus. Okay. Let me get these sockets out of my pocket. Okay. If anybody saw my videos lately, I've been doing some testing on this. If you have this saw, you better have about 10 batteries if you want to put it to serious work, because I find that these Hercules batteries, which this is extreme performance, they overheat and they go in protection mode if you have some serious sawing to do. This is the weak link of this saw, is these batteries. They do make a 12 amp hour, but I'm sure that'll get overheated too. This is the weak link of this saw. The saw is a great saw. This is a copy of the first or second generation rear handle. I have the third generation coming in about 2 weeks, and that one will smoke this. But this is the copy of the other M18 Fuel second gen. First or second gen rear handle. The only difference is right here. This is the weak link, is the batteries. If they can sit and make some batteries that could withstand some heat like Milwaukee has done. I've never overheated a forged battery. Not in all the testing I've done. He'll overheat the tool, but not the battery. Okay. Now, let's make sure everything's out of my way. Okay. I'm going to do some cutting here, then that'll be enough for this video. I'll make sure there's nothing in here that I can run into. This is a solid billet of wood. Let me put a glove on. Okay, I got this at full depth. as far as I can go over for the saw. Not really too far. Well, maybe I'll flip this piece of wood over. Let's see what the battery's at. Still fully charged, but it hasn't heated up yet. Like I say, I got a couple tests I've already put on YouTube, and these batteries overheat too quick. And I don't think the 12 amp hour is going to help much. Literally, if you can get an adapter to somehow run on these saws, but I heard Harbor Freight has it figured out. If you try to put another battery in, it won't work. If you can run a forged battery on here, wow, that would be something. Okay. Now, if I can flip this over, let me see. Like I say, and by the way, I got a thick curved blade from my Milwaukee, what's that, 2834? That's not the standard blade. That's a thick curve on there, and it does work on the saw. It might drag a little on the motor, but hey, it does work. And I don't honestly think that changing to the regular blade will help much for, for the battery overheating. That probably won't do much. All the tests I've seen on YouTube, no one's overheated the battery yet on it, but I did. Of course, I'm going for extreme cutting. When I test for extreme. Now, we got fasteners in here. I do want to remove these. I don't want these in there. So bear in mind. Okay. Now, let's remove them with my trusty DeWalt XR DCF 860. I'm the only guy on YouTube that's tested that saw so hard that the battery overheated. No one else has. So that's the weak link of that saw. The battery's the weak link. It's not the saw. If you got maybe 5 batteries, maybe you can make it work. I only have that and a 4 amp. I don't have a 12 amp. I might consider buying it if I get 10% off on it. The battery's $140, which I think is a bit too much money. What I really want, Harbor Freight to come out with a tablet cell battery. Come out with a 4, an 8, and a 12. Make the 4 cost maybe 110, maybe the 8, maybe 140, and maybe the 12, maybe 190. And I'll buy all 3 of them. Now we're talking a test. Okay. Now, let me get back to this test at hand. Let's see what we can do here. Make sure I don't trip on anything. Now, what do I have? Make sure I don't have anything else in here. I do have fasteners. Okay. Let me mark this a little bit better. I'm the only guy that's pushed that battery so hard and that saw the battery just overloaded. Battery just overloaded. No one else has even tried it yet on YouTube. I don't know why. The whole idea is to push the saw and see what you can actually get out of it. Granted, this is extreme cutting. Not many guys are going to be cutting wood like this all day. What are they going to cut? Maybe 2 or 3 sheets of OSB? OSB cuts easier than this shit. Okay. Now, I'm going to try to cut lengthwise. If I can dodge everything here. I want to get at least 2 cuts out of it before I call this video. So I can go here and maybe here. We'll see. Okay. Now, Okay, that piece of wood's getting in my way. Let me remove that hunk of wood. Okay, here's another one that has to be gone. Okay. Like I say, I overheated that battery in that video. And of course I overheated the 4 amp too. Wow, that's 2.5 inches down. Okay. Wow, I need to wear a mask, but oh well. And earplugs too, that would help. But my hearing's half gone after working in industries like landscaping and factories for 35, 40 years. What do you expect? Half my hearing's gone. Okay, maybe we'll go about it one more way. Okay. Wow, I definitely ran into something there. Look at that. Wow. Well, let me pull the battery on this. I don't like playing with saws with the batteries in it. Checking them out. Let's see what the battery's at. Dropped one cell already. It hasn't really warmed up, but let me show the temperature. One cut too many, I guess. But that's a thick curved blade from my Milwaukee. That's 2834, I think. See what it is myself. It's only 81, 82. No, here it is. It's dropping down to 85, but I had that other battery at 120 degrees and it croaked. They don't have these batteries figured out at Harbor Freight yet. They need to spend a few more dollars on them. Okay. Now, let me show the blade. Let's see if it did anything. It's kind of warm. It's pretty warm, actually. Guess what? This is still a good blade. This is a hell of a blade that Milwaukee makes. I don't see much damage at all. Yeah, they make a hell of a blade. I was watching Workshop Attic. He was testing all the saw blades, and it seems like Milwaukee makes about the best blades in the business. I want to get their brand new blade they have coming out. I'm going to order from either Ohio or Acme. So we all know the weak link on this saw is, well, the saw itself is not even hot. But we all know the weak link on is the batteries. We all know that right now. They need to make a new battery, make it tabless, and figure out a way that it won't croak. So, but there's going to be more testing on this saw in the future. And my mid-torque challenge just started. Yeah, well, like I say, Big Josh, this, I'm sure you've been testing your saw too. This, the weak link on these saws is these batteries. When you push this saw really hard, this battery overheats, and there's, unless you got 5 of these batteries, this saw's not going to put much work in. But then again, when I'm going extreme cuts on this at 2.5 inches down on the billet of wood, so the battery is the drawback on these saws. On this saw rated from Harbor Freight, the battery's the drawback. You'd have to have 3 or 4 of these batteries, maybe 5 of them, and keep them cool and keep charging them. They need a better battery for this saw. But like I say, that's the drawback on this saw. Oh, the cell came back. But this battery is kind of warm, but I overheated it twice. So before this, but yeah, my mid-torque challenge is going to keep going either tomorrow or Tuesday. It'll be in the evening, and then we'll be testing this saw more. And then when I get the new Milwaukee 2930 in, that's the new rear handle from them. That's going to be a beast. That'll light this up probably and burn this down. And I'm sure of that right now. I just wish Milwaukee would have stuck with their 6,300 RPMs. They took that new last pipeline. It says 6,300. Now they knocked it down to 66,000 RPMs. Just losing 300. I wonder why. But there's a 200 RPM improvement, and I heard it drops 3 pounds. So, other than that, yeah, like I say, you put the thick curved blade on here. I would imagine the regular blade probably won't overheat the battery as much, but hey, I like these thick curved blades. So, yep. Okay, guys, I've been going on almost 46 minutes here. But like I say, this saw, the weak link on it is the batteries. This battery is still warm too. Let me get, and that's some just that cuts right there. Let me see what it reads myself. Okay, it's about 92, 93 degrees. Just the weak link is these batteries. If only you can get an adapter, but Harbor Freight has this figured out. You can't run another battery on there, but the electronics will not click with it. So I need to get the 12 amp hour, but I don't think that's going to help much. So other than that, like I say, it's the weak link. My mid-torque challenge will keep going probably the day after tomorrow. It'll take all week to do it. So, okay, guys, Eric the Bearded Tool Guy signing off.